welcome to day 14 on the A to Z of sales. Now, going back a few videos when we were looking at the letter G, G was for goals. Now, the important thing about when you set a goal is understanding what's the journey you need to go on to get to that goal. So as an example, I live in the northeast of England, and if my goal, if I was going on a journey and my goal was to get to London by, say, 2 o'clock, then I'd have to look at how far away is London, and let's say it's 320 miles. Then I'd look at what's my average speed likely to be, and then I can work it backwards in terms of what time do I need to set off. And then as I go through the journey, then there are certain indicators I'm going to look at as I go along that journey. One is going to be, if I look at the dashboard information on my car, I'll be looking at what speed I'm driving. I'll be looking at my sat-nav, which will give me an indication of what my estimated time of arrival is. So all through that journey, I know whether I'm on track to achieve my goal of getting to London at the right time. And if any of those indicators tell me that I'm not going to make that, then that gives me a chance to course correct and change something to make sure that I do actually try and get there on time. It's the same in anything, so let's take sales. You take your annual sales target is your destination. So, you start with the end in mind. And I think that's a famous quote from Stephen Covey from his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that famous book. And he makes a quote in there, start with the end in mind. You can't set your journey unless you know what your destination is. So what's your sales target? And then chunk it down and work backward from that. So whether it's a revenue target, whether it's a unit target, it doesn't matter. Whatever product or service you sell, it's just thinking about what is success for me and what's that target. So let's suppose that it's a revenue target and you have to get X number of thousands or millions of pounds or whatever it is you sell, you have to get to that target by the end of the next 12 months. So you start off with the revenue because that's your destination, that's your target. How many sales typically, on average, would you have to make to be able to generate that revenue? To generate that number of sales, how many client proposals would you need to be able to generate that number of sales? To generate that number of client proposals, how many client meetings or client presentations would you have to do to be able to do that many proposals that would then get you that many sales that would then get you that revenue? So from client meetings, then you can go back and say, well, how many opportunities to do business or how many people do I need to speak to be able to generate the meetings, to generate the proposals, to generate the sales, to generate the revenue? And that then becomes your journey. And as you go through that, rather than wait till the end of the month or the end of the quarter or even the end of the year to realize that you're not on track, then you can measure that almost on a daily, but certainly on a weekly basis. Is sit down and look at how many people did I speak to? What was my conversion rate from speaking to people, opportunities to do business, into client meetings? What was my conversion rate from presentations or client meetings into proposal? What's my conversion rate from proposal into sale and then from sale into the value of the sale? That then allows you to manage your sales journey. So start with the end in mind, chunk it backwards, and give yourself some measurement criteria that you can measure yourself by. So you always know whether or not you're on track. So that's day 14. M for measurement. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for day 15. Cheers.